Alright guys, in this video is a new video. The build process will begin again with the SS. It'll be slow for a little bit because we are expecting up to, I think it was like 5 feet of snow over here in Colorado. But we're still gonna begin it. Right now we just got in our fuel pumps. They're dual Wallboard 450 fuel pumps. Here's everything that came with it. Was the pumps in these 2 bags. And then we've already had these, but I'm just showing them again. The pt.10 80-pound injectors. And our full fuel system is gonna be these 2, those, some aftermarket fuel rails, and upgraded fuel pressure regulator. With these, we're hoping to just keep them in the car because we soon want to push 1,000, and these can withstand 1,000. And they can also support flex fuel, which is what we want to do. So yeah, these are the parts that we just got in. We're expecting the kit here in about a week. Let's hope that happens because that's 6 weeks from the purchase date. And yeah, we're hoping to get this SS up on the road here soon.
Okay, so we're gonna start removing the fuel pump on the SS. The previous owner did us a favor and cut the trap door already. But as you can see, there's a fuckload of wiring from his sound system. There's wires right there and there's wires over here. So one of these days we gotta just go in and remove all this fucking garbage out this car. But yeah, we're gonna start removing all the silicone that was left behind and taking out the fuel pump. You never know, it might have an aftermarket fuel pump already in it, but who knows. Okay, so we exposed the trap door. We're gonna be removing the fuel pump now. I believe all you have to remove is these 2 connections and these 3 quick connects over here. From watching other videos, I know that some of these are a pain in the ass to take off, so we'll see how long it takes us. And we might come in and clean all this fucking silicone off and try to do it the proper way, at least you could say, sealing it back up. But for now, we're just gonna leave it open because the car's not even running. But once the car's dialed in, we're gonna come back in and clean all this shit up.
All right guys, we got the fuel lines off. Let me show it good because all these other fucking YouTubers don't know what the fuck they're showing. For these 2 right here, these are the easiest ones. You just pinch right here, pinch these and pull out the lines. And then for this one's the most pain in the ass. But you take a screwdriver into here, into both sides. You pry it. You pry these 2 clips that you see on the sides right here, and you just pull. Don't try to pinch it because that shit's too small. You're not gonna be able to do it. And this will take 2 people, I'm pretty sure. You just pinch this one and this one. You pry them out and you pull the line. But yeah, we're gonna continue with the install. All right guys, we got it out. Got the fuel pump out. We got everything disassembled. But to get this out was a pain in the ass because it is an exact fit. Some people may say it's not, but it is. What we did, say this is the fuel pump up here. We put it at an angle, pulled it, and we used this screwdriver right here. You can see it's at a curve. We pried it and then just pushed it towards it and it came out. You have to pry it, we bent the screwdriver just to do it. And yeah, it was like this, and then you have to unplug it's a wire that's in here. It's these ones. They have safety clips like this one. Where is it at? It was on the ground. I can't find it, but it was a safety clip. You pull those out, and then to get the factory fuel pump out, because that's what it had, you just push it through because you can't pull it from the bottom. But yeah, we're gonna start installing those dual Wallboard 450s. All right guys, after some fabbing, these professional cuts, we finally got both the pumps to fit into the stock housing. We're just gonna see how this is gonna play out inside. We might just cut out the bottom, but the dual Wallboard 450s do fit now. You have to cut a decent amount. It is a pain, but it is possible. All right, here it is. This is this piece. You need to cut all that out. These aren't the final cuts, but it's just the cuts for now. Obviously, we're gonna go in and sand it down. And right here, we got the pumps in, like I said. There they are. You need to cut a decent amount. There they are inside. Watch, let me try to show you. Put this right here. You put these through. And give them a decent push, line them up. And they do end up clicking with ease. It is a pretty good amount of pain, but it does work. It is possible to do dual fuel pumps in this. And yeah, we're gonna continue. All right, guys, we just got in our Restronics hot wire kit for the fuel pumps. We labeled everything already. This is just a relay that you could put in where the kick panel is. This right here is the alternator ground. We put the bolt on already. It also comes with these bolts. And then over here, these are the two top ones I plug into the actual fuel pump. These are the intake ones. And this is the relay and ground. People usually put these right where the spare tire is. And I think that's where we're gonna put it. This is just right here, and it also comes with this wire. If like us, you're running dual wall bro 450s, see, then this wire is useless. But if you're running a Restronics fuel pump, then you're gonna need to depin the stock floater wire. You have to depin both the purple wires and pin them into this one. And then this side of the wire plugs into the top of the Restronics fuel pump. But as you can tell, we're not running a Restronics fuel pump. And it also comes with this, obviously not this one. It's the one that's already put into the main thing. But to replace it, you just press that little, let me see if I can get a better angle. You just press this little thing right here. You press it and you push down and it comes out. And you also get this. Oh no, you don't get this, but we added it to it. It's recommended. It's just a better ground. Obviously, one side goes into the battery. This is this side. And then this is the body ground. The chassis ground, I mean. And it's just recommended. I think it's like $12 add-on. But I would recommend it because they say the stock ground's too weak. And as you can see, this one's way beefier. So yeah, that's everything that comes into that's everything that comes with the kit. We're gonna get to installing it here in the next clip. All right, guys, we also just got our spark plugs. I'll show you. There are these ones right here. We were gonna go with some MSD ones, but we decided to just go with these. These we thought they were shifter bolts, but wrong bolts came in. And this right here is the shifter ball. We did get a, let me see if it says it. The 8-ball one, you know, lucky 8-ball. And we also did get in a brand new bell housing. You know, LS boys, LS bell housing. And yeah, but we're getting super close to getting the Camaro started. We're just waiting on that turbo kit to come in. It should come in here soon, but it's not as soon as we expected it to come in. But yeah, in the next clip, we're gonna be installing that hot wire kit. All right, guys, a few days later, I got the hot wire kit here. Everything's labeled. There's the fuel tank, well, the top of it at least. We're gonna run the hot wire kit through here, and then you gotta take out your speaker cover, run it through in there, and then run it behind this other speaker cover. And then you take out your kick panel. We're gonna run it all through here and up through the firewall up there. There should be an opening around where the computer comes into the car. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing that right now. All right, guys, here's the plugs that plug into the fuel pump, the actual pump. I'm gonna run them right there, but right around here where you see this slit, I'm gonna go ahead and cut like a square out so I can run the plugs inside, because if I run them through here, it's not gonna be able to shut. So I gotta cut like a hole right here so I could run these inside, and I'm gonna get to running the rest of the harness through the car. All right, guys, I'm probably gonna end up putting this, the what is it called? the relay right here. I just need to sand down this little hole right here so I could have the ground right there. I'm not sure if I need to sand it down because it looks like it's already a ground, but I'm gonna just end up putting it in there and just bolting up the relay with that bracket right there. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys when I do that. All right guys, I got the ground in. This is where the spare tire is at, if you couldn't tell. There's the relay on that bracket. I'm not sure if everybody has that bracket, but there's that. And then there's the ground. That's not how it's gonna stay because I had to have the bolt all together, but that's why I have it for now. And then I'm running the rest of the harness right here behind, and then behind the speaker cover, and then I'm running it through, and it's coming out through there, right there. There's the wire, and through the kick panel. I don't have it on right now, I removed it. And then now what I'm doing is figuring out how I'm gonna run this other fuse and that ground through the firewall up there, because this ground is gonna go to the alternator, and if you couldn't tell, we're going turbo, so the alternator is gonna move up to the passenger side, so I don't gotta move it that far. But once I get it figured out, I'll show you guys. All right guys, I did get that harness in through the firewall. Let me see if I can get a better angle. Through the firewall right there where all the sunlight's coming in. I did have to take the fuse cover off, but that was just to make it smaller. But once it's in the engine bay like I got over here, once it's in the engine bay, then you should be good. See, there's the ground that's gonna go up to the alternator, and this we're just gonna have it in the engine bay, probably bolted up to the firewall. And here's the fuse cover. So yeah, that's how it goes up, and I'll show you once it's all final and done. Here's everything final, guys. Here's the wiring harness for the fuel pump. There's the relay and ground. The ground still needs to be done, but I'll do that off camera. And then the wires run through right here, through behind the speaker cover. And it comes out on this side. Where's the wire? Right there. It comes out on this side. Goes through the kick panel. Goes up through the firewall right there. And then, don't mind the mess. And then comes out through where your computer comes through. And then we just ran it right here for now. And there's the ground that's gonna eventually sit up about like right here to the alternator. But yeah, that's how it mounts it. We're gonna continue.
All right guys, so we're currently in the process of taking the motor off the engine stand. We're pretty much done with the engine. There's just a few things we gotta address, like these broken exhaust manifold bolts. We're not gonna put the engine in the car just yet. We're gonna mate it up to the transmission and have it all ready, and probably by tomorrow I'm gonna try to take those bolts out. But overall it's pretty much done. There's no need to put on the alternator because the kit comes with the alternator relocation bracket, and I'm not going to be starting the car and driving it around anytime soon. So you know, having it like this would be just fine for me. So I'm not really in the rush to, you know, be doing pulls right now. I'd rather do everything correctly than try to rush stuff. So right now we're going to try to take it off the engine stand and put it on this tire and mate it up to the transmission.
All right guys, we got the motor on a tire. Not really on a tire, but just over a tire. We're gonna start installing like the pilot bearing and the clutch. Back here looks pretty good. The gasket, I don't know where it's at, but it looked brand new almost. And there's the cover. And yeah, we're gonna begin doing this. All right guys, we're starting to put in the pilot bearing. It's right there. We just cleaned it out. Now we're just gonna punch it in with a 19 mil with the mallet. All right guys, after wrenching for a while, we finally got the pilot bearing in. Don't worry about how it looks. We're just gonna fucking send it. I would recommend you freeze it for like at least like 2 hours at least, because when you freeze stuff, it shrinks. And the first time we tried to get it in, it just completely just shit on us. But with freezing it, it went in. You do gotta like find a way to get it in. We use the fucking pry bar and a hammer with a rag over the pry bar, and that's how we got it in. It did get a few dents, but it went in, so we're gonna continue.
So we're installing the clutch now. Just gotta make sure you pay attention to the markings. This is trans side, so this points towards the trans. This side points to the flywheel. So just make sure you have that lined up. That should be fine right there. Okay, so we got the clutch torqued down. We just made sure we had our clutch alignment tool in all the way, and we torqued everything down to, and 2 sequences. We did 25 foot-pounds, and then we did 55. I'm not sure if that's the proper way to do it, but we did it like that on the flywheel, which was 3 sequences, which was I think 15, 37, and 74. We just felt more comfortable doing it in 2 sequences, but the tool slides in and out just fine. There's no real problems. We just ran into a hiccup with the clutch getting a little bit of corrosion on it, but we're just gonna sand it. I mean, it was only $150 clutch, you know, so I'm not really gonna sweat it. We cleaned it up, and the surfaces all feel smooth. The clutch disc feels fine. The pressure plate right here on the other side feels fine, and the flywheel feels fine, even though they had some corrosion on it. But we're just trucking along. We're gonna put the housing on, and then the transmission.
All right, guys, sorry for not showing you, but we finally got the transmission made it to the engine. Right here, it's wrapped. All right, guys, the build was brought to a halt because of the shitty Colorado weather. You know how it is over here in Colorado. It likes to snow one day and then 135 degrees the next. But we have to go to the junkyard to get a new head. We tried welding a nut onto this. It just didn't work, and the head's completely ruined now. We got the one that was right here off, but like about a quarter of the bolt was sticking out, so that one was way easier. And this one just fucked us in the ass. So we're just gonna go pull a new head. And I recommend you, if you don't have a lot of experience with welding, or you have a stick welder and one of the studs is broken inside, just find a new pair of heads, because this took up a whole day yesterday, and now we're midday today, and we're going to pull a head right now. So yeah, I'll hit you guys back up when we're at the junkyard and we're pulling that head.
All right, so we got the new, new to us, A62 head all cleaned up. We put our dual valve springs in there. It looks pretty clean. We cleaned it up pretty good. It looked a lot better than how it did when we pulled it out from the junkyard. But in regards of speaking about our dual valve springs, this is right here is why you want to upgrade your valve springs. As you can see on this guy, on this engine, he broke his valve spring, but luckily for him, at least, the keeper held the top part. Where is it? I think they're around here somewhere. Held the top part to the valve spring. I held this to the valve spring and to the valve, with the keepers held it in place, which didn't allow the valve to drop. We didn't even notice it until we got home and started disassembling that the valve spring was broken. So yeah, luckily for him, he didn't fuck his shit up. But that's why you always want to upgrade your valve springs. At least for us, we've upgraded our valve springs in both our builds, and really didn't want to skimp out. So that's why I went with, you know, these dual valve springs. At least on both cars, they have dual valve springs, and they're, I don't know the brand on these ones. I bought them off a guy who said he bought he got them with his I think PRC heads. So I'm not sure on the brand. But my Z20 has Texas Speed dual valve springs, so it's always important to upgrade your valve springs. It doesn't have to be dual valve springs, but, you know, get a good name brand. Don't just get, you know, OEM replacements. Unless your car is stock, you know, you could always go with like the LS6 springs, but always want to upgrade to something good. All right, so it came time to drill out the oil drain for our turbo. It's not the best job that we've done on this car, you could say, but not the worst. The threads look pretty good. It came out nice and clean. And per her on Speed's request, we did a 1/2 inch MPT.
You can't even see the size
right here. Look, you see? Right there it says 1/2 inch MPT. And yeah, it does say to use a 45/64 drill, but nowhere in the state of Colorado could we find the drill. So what we had to do is we had to use a stepper bit, and we drilled it all the way to 11/16, and 11/16 is, I think, around 17.46, and for 45/64 it's around 17.86. So we drilled it out to the 11/16, and then we used a file to file the whole inside, slowly but surely. And then we started using this one. We started using the tap with pretty much like this, just because we couldn't find the tool big enough for this. And it just came out fine. What we got to do now is clean up the oil pan, and then we'll be set. This was the last thing holding us pretty much from dropping the motor in, just because I don't want to cause all these metal shavings while the pan was on the car, and just, you know, sending it. You know, we have been sending it on a few things, you know, here and there, but this is one of the things you don't want to send it on, especially because all the metal shavings that fell. All this would have been in your engine if you hadn't, you know, taken the pan off and just did it while the pan was on the car, while the engine was in the car as well. But yeah, we're just gonna torque it back down, clean up the edges, just because some paint got on the oil pan, and we might be able to drop it in today or even tomorrow.
All right, guys, we got the motor and transmission, everything together now. As you can see, we got everything mounted, everything torqued down, and yeah, everything's ready to go. We're just about to lift the car right now and drop that K-member. Alright guys, we got everything hooked up. Harness is on the motor and trans. Got the K-member dropped. It did rain a little bit, but rain won't hurt. And we're lifting the car a little higher now.
Well, the engine is in. The engine and trans are in. It wasn't too bad, as bad as we thought. The only pain was that with that exhaust manifold, the nut on the very back, or the stud on the very back, had to be cut off completely because it was in the way. But what most guys do, from what I've read on the forums, is they just run a nut and a bolt and call it good with a lock washer, and they call it good. All that's left for us to do right now is just to tighten up the K-member bolts, all 6 of them, and the transmission mount, and put the drive shaft in, just because, you know, about 8 quarts of fluid leaked on the floor. So you know what, we gotta take care of that. But we're pretty happy. It started raining midway, but we kept trucking along, and we're almost done.
All right, guys, we got all the K-member tightened up. Oh fuck, I keep hitting my head on the hood. Yeah, we just need to start attaching the harness to the motor. There's still a few things we need, so we can't start it. I probably won't start it till around Sunday, and then we'll have to wait for that turbo kit since the manifolds are facing forward, and we're gonna have to wait for those for that turbo kit. All right, guys, I'm gonna start trying to wire up the car. So yeah, I'm gonna start trying to wire it up, try to get all the wires where they belong, and I'll pick up the camera once again when I'm done wiring, or close enough to done. Prime it. You're gonna... Prime it again. una vez más. Huh? What way does it go in? There, it's in. What? Yeah. For start. Yeah. Alright guys, it's the next day after getting the first start in. We're gonna start it again to just make sure everything's fine. We got the airbox in from the Z28. And yeah, we got everything plugged in, and we're gonna go ahead and start it again to see how it starts up. Go. So it's been a few days since we recorded last, but I ended up buying a ICT billet alternator relocation bracket. I'm not sure if I said it in a previous clip, but overall the bracket is pretty cool. It's nice quality, you know. It comes with the, you know, where you mount the alternator, your idler pulley, and your tensioner. The only problem I have with it is the fact that it did not really work. I had to massage my fender well, you could say, and I had to cut the fin off my alternator to make it fit. I even had to call ICT billet to verify, you know, the fact that, you know, this was in fact for a 98-202 F body, and they told me that it was, but you know, it doesn't seem like it, just because I had to beat the shit out of my fender well, and I had to cut my alternator just to make it fit. So I'm not sure what they were on about, but it doesn't fit as stated, you know. And I even had a friend tell me I should have gone with the Dirty Dingo alternator relocation bracket. So probably in the future I might go with it instead of this one, just because this one I'm not really too happy on how it fit. It's a nice quality, but I'm not happy on how it fit. The fact that I had to cut my alternator to make it fit, and, you know, dent up my car to make it fit properly. But it's whatever. Everything is fine. I know it looks all kind of, you know, all over the place, but we're just gonna crank it up now. The fact that we got our you know, plumbing in, we can start it for longer, and we're gonna just go from there. Nothing here is permanent. We're gonna go back in, make hoses like this longer, clean up the wiring, and make it look better. This is gonna wrap up the video. Right now what we're doing, we just took off the intake to put gaskets on those steam ports, because we did it and it was leaking. But we took off the intake to do that, and we took off the manifold on the side to adjust the brake lines. And once we adjust those brake lines, we can go ahead and take it for a drive around the block. You know, obviously being cautious of anything that could catch fire. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up the video. I'm not sure when the next video will be, because we are waiting on that turbo kit. Haran Speed said it was gonna take about 6 to 8 weeks. We're now on 9th week and still no word on when those kits are expected to arrive. So yeah, there's obvious reasons to be pretty mad about that. You know, not really good to have your customers waiting, and then when they ask you when will it arrive, they don't reply. But yeah, we're expecting that kit to arrive here soon, but I'm not sure when the next upload will be. But yeah, thanks for watching, and subscribe and like.